The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network. And hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Friday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Brought to you by our good friends, as always, Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig with you as we get ready for the weekend. Once again, we're heading into the final full week. Well, actually, we're completing the final full week without basketball, right? Because basketball will start officially a week from today. So we're countdown's at 7 days, guys. 7 days till hoop season. Girls basketball gets underway a week from today, and we will continue with our basketball previews today. That's what's on our show. We'll also kind of preview a little bit. We've been talking about the playoffs all week, but we'll bring them up again and let you know where you can watch them, who you are watching, and how you can watch them as well. The playoffs tonight will be a part of our pay-per-view package. One payment of $9.99 gets you access to our whole playlist. Every game that will be covered on the YSN family will be available with that one purchase of $9.99. Some questions that have been asked in the past that we want to get out in the open. Just because you paid for last week does not give you access to this week, so it will be a new payment. You do get all the games with one payment of $9.99 tonight. So if that makes sense. So if you bought the playoffs last week, you still have to buy them this week. It's not a blanket coverage. It's the blanket coverage for that particular night. Other questions. Have you been asked to pay anything other than one payment of $9.99? It is not us. We do not ask for subscriptions. You do not have to pay more than what we charge. So if you accidentally click on a pop-up, I know there are a lot of fake links to go up on our posts as well. Just don't fall for anything like that. There's really nothing we can do about it. We delete the fake links as quickly as we can in the comment section, but sometimes they just get through. So don't buy any of the false stuff if you have to pay anything other than one payment of $9.99. Not us. You're not getting what you want, and then you'll be having to call up that credit card company and be like, "Hey, I got this charged for $35, and it's not exactly legitimate." So you don't want that to happen. Make sure you start the process of getting your online virtual ticket early. We tell our announcers to be live at 6:45 so you can know if it's working. That way, if any technical problems do come along, you can kind of get them situated before kickoff at 7 o'clock. We will be on our messenger, of course, myself and our technical producer, Brian Scott, who is the reason why all of the stuff that we do happens from the behind-the-scenes standpoint. So we'll both be on messenger. He'll answer the tech questions. I'll answer anything else that I can, of course, to help you out throughout the night. But here we go, playoffs. Round 3, it is the regional semifinals tonight. And although we had a kind of rough Friday last week as far as YSN goes, we still have plenty of teams available that are still vying for trips to the regional final. And tonight, here are the games that we will have covered on the playlist for that pay-per-view package. We will have Austintown Fits. We've had a couple of questions about that. It will be on YSN, but it will be audio only and free. So Spectrum Sports will be there. They have video rights with the OHSAA, so we will have to do our audio-only stream for that game, which means Fitch fans out there, if that's all you want is just that Fitch game, you do not have to pay the pay-per-view. You can get it there for free with the audio-only broadcast. Ty Bartel and Micah Ackelson will have you covered for that broadcast. That will be at Ravenna, the blue turf. So unfortunately, won't be able to see the blue turf on our wonderful broadcast cameras, but you will be able to hear the great tandem in broadcasting of Ty Bartel and Mike Ackelson. The rest of these games are going to be video, and they will have to have that $9.99 purchase attached for it. So we will be at the Poland-Manchester game at Louisville. Matt Romeo and Anthony Malone will be on the call for that one. We will have South Range versus Garaway, DJ Oakley, Sam Bellino, and Andy Hake all on the call for that one. We will have Springfield versus Dalton from Marlington. Noah Doty and CJ Schroeds will have you covered for that one. We will have Urson and Aurora, that one happening at Hoover. Tim Corso and Eric Hughes on the call there. And then last but not least, we will have Warren JFK versus Cuyahoga Heights at Grand Valley. Sam Torres and Dakota Kotzel will have you covered for that one. So those will be the games that we will have tonight. Want to also say good luck to Hoban, who is playing Nordonia at Barberton, and Perry, who is playing Streetsboro at Berkshire. Unfortunately, we will not be able to have those broadcasts, but we do wish those teams the best of luck. They're YSN proud. They're part of the YSN family. Of course, we want those two teams to win and move on in the playoffs, and hopefully we get them back on the board for the broadcast next week when they do win. I notice how I say win. Very confident in our teams. I will never say if. If implies the possibility of a loss, which is not there when you're talking about sports fandom, right? I always tell people hope is great in life. It's not good in sports, because if you say you're hoping something as a player, as a fan, you're instilling the possibility that the other result could happen. So hope is great in life. In sports, you want to stay away from hope and get into certainty. Certainty. That's why we use win. When these teams win. But in all seriousness, we definitely wish all the teams the best of luck. We have a possibility for what could be a very exciting South Range versus Poland regional final if both those teams win in Division 5. It'll be tough because the two teams they're playing have earned their way through the playoffs, and they've gotten to this point for a very good reason. Manchester, who Poland is playing, is the 2 seed in the region. And unlike other sports where the seeds can kind of be, shifted, you have the coaches vote. Not every coach dives into every team's schedule. You'll see a lot of teams sometimes get misseeded or underseeded, but here with the football rankings, you've earned that seed with the computer points. There might be a little bit of wiggle room here and there. You might be able to flip Poland and Manchester, based on some deep metrics that the computer rankings just don't go into. But all in all, you get the seedings that you think that are pretty close to accurate on what these teams have earned throughout the season. So it'll be a Manchester team that definitely is not going to be the sneaky underseeded 2 seed. They earned the 2 seed. It'll be a battle for Poland to get it done. But the good news for Poland is they have definitely seen a lot of very good teams in their schedule and different styles of play that have really gotten them prepared. I don't think Manchester's going to be able to throw anything at them that they haven't seen before. They'll just have to play a really good game and execute their game plan. Poland played South Range, who's the 1 seed, which, if once again, math is math, numbers are numbers. 1's better than 2, right? So if you play South Range, you're playing a team better than the 2 seed. And really, you watch that game and you dive into it. Poland had every opportunity to win that game, to be at least put themselves in chances to win it at least, but they didn't play clean. They had a couple of mishaps that let South Range kind of put some distance between them. And if that rematch happens again, I'm sure the coaches would look at that and be like, "Hey guys, we were right there. We played really well. We were definitely comparable to South Range. We just made a few mistakes in bad situations." And if Poland can stay away from that tonight, I think they have a really good chance of beating Akron Manchester. for South Range on that end of Division 5. It's all about just playing South Range football. I think that's what it's always been. Executing the game plan. They're better at their own brand of football than a lot of people are, right? They're better at what they do well than a lot of people. So if they keep executing their game plan to the fullest potential, they're going to be okay. They've been a little bit, stricken by the big play this year, but so far it has not been able to deter them one bit because they've been able to answer every little bell, every call that a team puts together. We've seen a couple of teams already in the playoffs kind of strike early to keep it close, and then like clockwork, South Range is right back at it and saying you're not going to get this into a close game. We're not going to be stressed down the stretch. Gerard had a couple of chances to keep it close last week. South Range answered every time Gerard would creep a little closer. South Range would be right there. So this Raiders team, although they do have a little bit of vulnerability to give up some big plays here and there, they definitely have shown continuously that they can bounce back from that. They do not let those big plays change the momentum of games. They never have this year, and I don't expect that to happen here in week 13. What can you? I mean, you look at the other games. Ursuline is Ursuline. They're the team kind of to beat in this region. I think a lot of people are looking at the way they've been playing, and they're the favorites to win the region, and they have to obviously earn that in the semifinals. But I'm looking at the way Ursuline's playing right now and the way they just pounded Villa Anna St. Joe's, who remember they went to in the regular season and only beat by 7, right? So the way they just pounded Villa Anna St. Joe's, I'm just like, this Ursuline team looks like they're on some kind of mission. And getting in their way is not going to be an easy task, especially when you're talking about this early. Maybe when you talk about state semis, regional final, maybe those are the kind of teams that might be able to push them a little bit. But I don't see Ursuline having any trouble in this game. I mean, no, that's no disrespect to Aurora at all. Warren JFK Cuyahoga Heights. This is intriguing because technically JFK is the lower seed, right? But I think they have definitely sharpened themselves with a very tough schedule throughout the season. They play way up, I should say. So they're used to not being the quote unquote most talented team on the field, but they just execute. Man, they're well coached. They execute so many things really well at such a high level that like it kind of evens out any talent gap that they might have. Sometimes they don't even have a talent gap, and that's why they beat teams, by a lot. But when they do have a little bit of a talent gap or a size gap, which can happen with a school like JFK, where they don't have the depth or they don't have the size that other teams have, the fact that they execute at such a high level, the plays are run to almost perfection 90% of the time. That's hard to do in high school football, and it's hard to match in high school football. And we're going to see that tonight in Grand Valley. I think JFK has a really good chance. The playoff pedigree also, you can't bet against that. And then when we were talking about Springfield versus Dalton, Springfield, they had to sweat it out, and I told you they would. I told you Toronto was going to come into Springfield last week and give the Tigers a fight. They're an offense that really knows how to turn the tides, and Springfield was down, and then with under a minute to go, scores a touchdown that would have tied the game. But, Coach Guerrero says, you know what? I ain't afraid to roll the dice. Let's just go for 2. Go for 2. They win it 29-28. Backed up with the gutsy call, and I think he probably saw something in other times he scored that probably told him, we can probably make it. We have a play in our pocket that can make this 2-point conversion. I'm sure he wouldn't have called that if he wasn't pretty confident in the play he was going to call to get that 2-point conversion, and it worked. So Springfield, once again, making plays. We've talked about them all year. We've talked about them in this regard for the last 3 or 4 years. They just make playoff plays, right? Those kind of plays that win playoff games. They're so used to being there, being in the moment, being in that situation. Nothing seems to faze them. It's going to be tough. Dalton's a good team. They've proven that the last 2 weeks, but Springfield going to try to make those game-winning plays down the stretch yet again this week. So it's going to be a fun time All those games, once again, live on ysnlive.com. It'll part of our pay-per-view package. One payment, $9.99, gets you access to all the games on the playlist. Fitch will be audio only, so although it will be attached to that playlist, when you buy one of the other games, you can also get it by itself for free with the audio-only broadcast from Austintown Fitch. With that being said, what we're going to do, we're going to take our commercial break now, and then we're going to sort of run the basketball previews that we have in store for you today. So we'll run the commercial break. We'll come back, and we will have Michael Cole, the head coach of the Pymatuning Valley girls basketball team, moving from champion to Pymatuning Valley. Ty Bartel had the chance to talk with him earlier on in the week, so we're going to do his season preview, and then we'll go right from him to Pat Carton, the head coach of the South Range Raiders boys basketball team, and he'll preview their season coming off a year where they went 10-2 in the conference in his first season as the head coach. Year 2 for Pat Carton. He talks about that, what he expects from that Raiders group. Both those will be coming up next after this commercial break on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun, it all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
And welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown, who you just heard from in that commercial break. We want to thank them for their sponsorship. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show every single day. And we continue that today with more basketball season previews and coaches' corners. We are diving into Pymatuning Valley up in the 440. We've talked to Michael Cole a lot. He's same coach, different school now. As he's been the head coach of Champion for a little bit, and now he moves from Champion to Pymatuning Valley to head up their girls program. So it's another chance to talk to Michael Cole and talk about what he expects in his first year as a Laker. Ty Bartel had the chance to catch up with him, so here's that basketball preview from Andover.
Welcome in, everybody. Ty Bartel with another edition of Coach's Corner. This time we're joined with the head coach of the Pymatuning Valley Lakers, the Michael Cole of the girls' side. Coach Cole, how we doing tonight?
Excellent. You know, just in the gym right now, you know, putting some work in and trying to get a little bit better.
When you talk about these work that you are putting in the gym, what are some things that are sticking out? What are some things you notice about this Lakers squad this year?
A lot of athletes, good size, work very hard. You know, it's a hard working group. Let me move around here. Yeah, they've taken to the coaching well. they like to have fun. That's the one thing, they get a little goofy sometimes, which I'm fine with. I mean, this is a sport, but it's a game. It's got to be fun. So they're pretty loose already, which is nice, coming into it new, but we got to know each other pretty good over the summer.
Let's talk about that conference you're playing into with the experience that you know about it too. The NAC's always kind of a tough one too, year in and year out. Always it feels like a gauntlet. Always good teams year in and year out. Talk to me about what you guys you see from the conference too, and how you think you're going to fit in.
Yeah, we were very competitive last year in the conference. I think they were second place, if I'm not mistaken. 3 league losses, I believe, both to Badger, and they lost one more. I could be wrong. I think they lost one other league game. I think the conference is going to be very difficult again this year. I know Badger loses dynamic player, but they still have girls that can play, and they play hard. Grand Valley enters the league. That's a rivalry for Pymatuning Valley, so that should be a big game both times. And I know they have talent. We scrimmaged them last year when I was coaching for Champion. I know they have players. Athletes. I know Maplewood's very good. We scrimmaged them also last year at Grand Valley. So it was I got to see a little bit of what they have. I know they got a really good freshman coming up. I coached and played against her dad. So it just shows my age, I'm getting a little old, but yeah. And then there's always challenges out there. There's other teams that have talent. I know Southington had some really nice young players that got hurt last year. Hopefully they come back. Yeah, so it should be a very interesting open league this year.
Competitive conferences are always a good thing too, to keep you on your toes. I want to get a chance to kind of meet some of the girls that you do have on this team. I want to give you a chance to kind of name them out and some of the big contributors that you're going to expect to have this year.
Yeah, I'll start with the seniors. We have 5 seniors this year coming back. We have leading scorer from last year, Zoe Painter. Tough guard, very, very good scorer, very shifty. Just for ball handling, probably one of the better guards I've ever coached. She can really handle the ball well. She does a very good job, super athletic, had a great soccer season. We have Jolene Sharp, very intelligent, high basketball IQ, long athlete. Trying to get her to shoot it a little bit more. She likes to set her teammates up, but she can score also. And she's another one that's shifty, getting to the hoop, finishes well. May Struna, strong post. If you know anything about Pymatuning basketball, the Struna name, there's been multiple kids. Her older sister, was a very good player for Coach Compton back in the day. We have Taryn Tish. She another big, strong post, just a fantastic athlete, works real hard, great attitude, does exactly what she's asked. And finally, we have Kelsey Britton to round out that senior class, super hard worker. She's going to be probably one of my better defenders. I kind of liken her to, I don't know if you remember Savannah Dodrell back in the day. For me at Champion, she's kind of got that work ethic. She just really, really gives everything she has. I know Savannah Dodrell really was an unbelievable player for me, made me look pretty smart. But yeah, she does a lot of those things that Savannah does. I'm put her up there, really try to create some havoc. Then we come down to some juniors returning that had some varsity experience last year. Sadie Paul, I think this junior class is super athletic. It's probably, Sadie Paul's, I watched her scoring touchdowns at will in powder puff football the other day. I always pick on her a little bit about that, but she's really fast. I can't believe how fast she is. Really good shooter, strong, very strong for her size. Follow that up with Raylan Ballantyne, strong, big post, athletic, she can move too. Julia Hitchcock, kind of a tweener, another athletic guard, can shoot it. And then we have a girl coming in from Edgewood, Maria Gonzalez, working hard, trying to figure things out with us. A new program, it's kind of like me. So, we're learning together. And I think we have one sophomore that's really kind of shown out. She's really impressed me super athletic. She was very good for their softball team. McKenna Jordan. I didn't think, for her, it's a lot of confidence, and hopefully I'm helping her become confident with that. But she shot the ball very well, and she's another ultra athlete, very fast. So, I just trying to use that speed. And then we have 6 freshmen that are, coming in, and, they're working hard trying to figure it out. So, just kind of, that's who we got so far.
It sounds like athleticism is going to be one of the strengths you guys are going to be playing to try to get your victories this year.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of some of those older champion teams where we had a lot of athletes I could throw out there. Some of even the bigger kids could move. It's just trying to get them up to that pace of the intensity, how intense we have to play. So.
Okay. You'd mentioned a newer program, new look for you too. I wanted to talk a little bit about that. What made it feel like a right home for you going up to Andover and representing the Lakers?
Well, I mean, Pymatumi Valley's had a very, storied history of girls basketball. They've always seemed to have solid teams, solid kids, solid community. I know their community cares very much about their sports, I'm experiencing that now. I mean, some of it's just, to me, it's just awesome. Like we had a elementary pep rally for our elementary level football team the other day. It was fantastic. Just watching the younger kids, and everybody in the whole school was congratulating because they were playing in the Super Bowl. You don't get that a lot of places.
Yeah.
It's just, they care around here. They care about their sports, and they work hard, so, I mean, it was pretty nice fit there. And then it came with the teaching job, which is, also, very important. Like I said, it's a very nice district. I'm very, very, very happy we came here. Now, that being said, like I said, still miss, you miss your girls from Champion, especially my seniors. You work with them for 4 years. Like, what kind of person would you be if you didn't miss your kids? But, I wish them the best of luck this year. Hopefully they win as many games as they can and have the best year they can have.
I mean, you've been through a lot of different experiences in the sport of basketball, no doubt, and sometimes newer experiences. They can be scary, but they are also exciting as well. I'm excited to see what it looks like. Are there a little bit of nerves for you to step out on that court first game too, or you're locked in, you're ready to go with this team, huh?
I'm pretty old. I've been through it. I've been through the trenches. I don't get nervous about that stuff. I want the kids to have fun. I want them to work hard. I'm hoping they respond to what I'm doing. And they have been so far. I want to see what it looks like when there's adversity. How do we bounce back? It's always important. Not everything's going to go well. So I've had some teams in the past where, they've done a nice job. Like my team last year, I told them there's multiple games where we were down 10 points, against very good teams. And, we were unfazed. We knew we were going to come back. That's kind of mentality you need to have, you get back with intensity and effort. And that's hopefully what we can kind of instill here.
You talk about your type of culture that you always instill to that intensity and effort. Who are some of the assistant coaches and some of the other big names in this program that's going to kind of help you instill that culture?
We just have one other coach, Harley Hamilton. She was a big-time player at Badger, all-state post player, and she returns. She coached here last year for the junior varsity. Highly recommended by the administration, and she's really fit in. She does a great job with the girls. It's great she has that relationship with them. She does a lot of relationship building activities, team dinners already. She just does a great job with everyone.
I'm sure that's kind of helped bridge that too, with that new coach kind of feel going into a newer team too, and always having that kind of female voice, I feel like helps with that.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm just some old dude that's yelling sometimes. So it's hard to relate, with high school girls. So it's always nice to have somebody that they can talk to. And,
I want to talk a little bit about just Andover as a community. You mentioned how much they love their sports, and we know that as well too. But you get a chance to teach there. You get a chance to have firsthand have experience with all kinds of kids in the community too. What's it like to be a part of this community now firsthand too? And what's some things you've noticed?
Oh, I noticed, like I said, just the pride they have in their school. Pep rallies, like they really build things up. They had a fantastic pep rally the other day. My first ever Laker Rumble, to get the football team excited for the to get everybody pumped up for the playoff game the other day. So that was a real treat. I didn't know what to expect, and then the entire student body was into it. Sometimes you have those where kids don't really want to, I'm too cool, but no, they really buy in here. I love that.
I'm sure you're looking forward to those conference games then, with those big conference games, and seeing what that student section can do for the girls.
They better come out. Yeah, they better bring it. I hope they do.
Coach Cole, I always like to have a theme question each and every year. I know last year we went back to where the love of basketball started. This year I want to go to how the game of basketball has taught some of our coaches too, who are teaching the game of basketball. So the big question is for this year, what's the biggest life lesson that you've learned in the sport of basketball?
It's taken a lot of time, but I'll be honest with you, the relationships are more important than the victories. And I feel like I've become a better coach from that. It's taken the stress off of me. I can be, I can teach more instead of being frustrated. And sometimes we yell and, just take things out and blame. It's helped me kind of take myself away from the situation, analyze, reasons why, and kind of look at my own coaching more. Because at the end of the day, this is kind of a unity thing. They have a job to do. I have my job to do, and we're cohesively trying to do this together. So I think that's the big thing is, just creating those relationships. Because at the end, they play 4 years, but then, these kids the rest of their lives. So to me, that's more important.
It's one of those, you go out to try to be an impact on their lives, and you don't realize how much they're impacting yours along the way.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
So before I let you go, Coach, I want to give you a chance to spotlight anybody else you want a chance to spotlight to. Highlight your first game and let us know where we can catch you for some Lakers basketball this season.
Yeah, our first game is going to be we are hosting Berkshire. Should be a good game. They got us last year, close game. They return a lot of players and a good freshman group, so that should be a good one. And like I said, we're ready to roll. So
we're excited to have you on the network once again this year, Coach. We're rooting for all these 440 schools too, and big time for the Pymatooning Valley Lakers. I'm excited to see what you can do with your culture up there in Ashtabula County, and I'm excited to see what the NAC looks like with you in it this year, Coach.
Hopefully I do a good job. Who knows?
This has been a first edition of Coach's Corner with the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Cole, now from Pymatooning Valley.
Thank you.
Anthony Hartwig here with another basketball season preview. We're joined by the head coach of the boys team at South Range, Pat Carden. Coach, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us about your program.
Thanks for having us. It's great to hear from you guys. Love what you guys do in the high school basketball world and all sports for that aspect. I think it's great when they get the media coverage that they might not get on, local news and things like that.
So when you talk, before we talk about this season and all the exciting things you have, let's just recap last year. A very exciting season for South Range, a lot of success. What are some lessons that you think returning players and even the coaching staff can take away from the things that this team went through last year?
Yeah, year one for me last year as a head coach, so definitely a huge learning curve for me. We got a full summer in, a full off season, kind of see the way we want things to be happening here. So some of those changes kind of been made. And then, as far as the season went, we lost the league title, basically on a hiccup in Lakeview. So I think we kind of understand now that, any given night you can be beat and you got to be ready to go. It's nothing against Lakeview. They were playing great at the time. But that proved to be the difference. Poland came out with one loss. We split with them. We thought that could, get us to the top. And, we didn't do what we needed to do.
When you think about, first year and you reflect on it, I mean, a lot of coaches have first years that don't go nearly as well as yours did and how much success you did. Do you ever kind of pinch yourself and go, man, I'm set up here?
Yeah, it's obviously that's the expectation to get to the district round, and you really hope to get to the district championship. It's something that even early in my career as an assistant, I've been fortunate enough to be there quite a few times. So to me, it's not unfamiliar territory. But this program's now been there twice in the last 2 years, and we're going to hope to continue that streak this year.
Now, another thing that your programs is used to by now is waiting for football to be over until you get all your guys in. Once again, the football team on a great run, as they usually are for South Range. So I know your roster isn't complete right now, but I also know there are definitely names that you can shout out that we know are going to be on this team and are going to play big roles on this team, even though maybe you don't have them yet. So shout out the names that we're going to see a lot of this year, and maybe there are some new faces in the wings too at South Range that you think are going to be a big impact this year.
Yeah, Luke's kind of the name that everyone's going to know. So Luke Rowan, he's going to be our senior, who probably has the most experience, most decorated of the group. So he's going to be a big part of what we do. And then his counterpart is Nate Lewis, our point guard, another 3-year starter here. Nate's with the football team right now, but we're hoping to get him, when the football team is done, hopefully in a few weeks, doing what they kind of do. We bring over Graham Heikkinen this year. He's a South Range kid that returned to us. He's a senior. He's going to be in the mix. Then we return Tristan Toy, Gavin Nagy, that are seniors, great athletes, have great careers in other sports as well. Mike Arwacki's a senior that's with us. Jimmy Powell. These are guys that are all returning letter winners. We have 2 juniors in the program, Jack Carey, DeHaven Cooperwood. They're looking to fight for some playing time. Sophomores, Jason Vorshak, Gavin Hitchcox, Tommy Valentine, and Jimmy Hagan. Those are all football players as well. So we don't have any of them right now. And then we're excited about a couple freshmen that we have in Tommy Titus and Nick Toy that will hopefully compete for some varsity time as well.
When you're in this situation where you're still waiting for guys to come off of football, and you're definitely wishing them the best of luck, but in your case, you still have to get stuff done. You still have to go scrimmage people and get ready for the start of the season. What's that like as a coach, trying to kind of juggle the things when you don't have all your people and try to still, be productive for the kids that you do have, so everyone can be as ready as possible when game 1 comes around?
It's definitely hard. This year a little bit harder than most. Last year when we came in, we had 6, varsity caliber players with us that weren't on the football team. So we were kind of able to fine tune things and really get them moving. So we were ready to go early. This year we don't have that luxury. A lot of them are on the football team. So we're just going as hard as we can. The guys that we have, we're working with them day in and day out. We're bringing in a couple older guys to help practice. Coaches are jumping in here and there. So we could do 5-on-5 things. We have our first scrimmage this Saturday, and probably our only scrimmage. We're in a preview playing Bristol. So we're getting our guys ready for that. And, it's just year after year, you love to see the football team succeed, but, it puts us in a little bit of a bind.
It's a double-edged sword, Coach. When you talk about the preview on Saturday, it's like a ramped up scrimmage a little bit. You get 2 quarters of pretty much game action. What kind of benefit is it to have that? You only get 1 a year that you're allowed to be in. So what kind of a benefit is it to be in a preview where not only are you scrimmaging, but you're also kind of putting these guys in as real of game situations as you possibly can?
Especially for us, I think with some of the guys that we're bringing, they don't have a ton of varsity experience outside of Luke. So Graham's going to get a lot of varsity time here and kind of see, where the things that he can and can't do in a game situation. Mike Arwacki's going to really work in a game situation. And then Jack Carey and DeHaven Cooperwood, they haven't had any varsity experience on the basketball end. So they're kind of getting thrown right into the fire. And then we have a couple freshmen that are going to be with us as well. And they're going to get to see what it's going to take to play on the varsity level.
All right, let's talk about your schedule. We'll start with the conference. The NE8, you already brought it up last year. You 1 game off of getting a championship with Poland, but you come back this year. I know you're hungrier than ever. Talk about the league this year, how you see it shaping out, and what you think South Range can do to really put themselves in the top of the league.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of experience coming back, so that could really help us in the league. But, it's a super competitive league. There's a lot of really good teams, a lot of good coaches. Luckily for me, I am familiar with a lot of them. I coached with Coach Fender when he was at Springfield. I coached with Coach Hannon and Gerard. Coach Aldish and Struthers was a coach of mine for, it seems like 10, 15 years, but he was with me pretty much all the way going through. Even Coach Procopio over there in Lakeview now, he was coaching in Jackson Milton when we were coaching in Springfield. So we had a lot of battles with him. Hubbard's always good with Coach Fitch. Year 2 under his system will be interesting to see how they kind of soak that in. And then Coach Harding over in Niles. So we'll see how, what they can shake out.
And then when you talk about non-conference, when the pressure's a little bit off and the whole goal of non-conference schedule is just simply get ready for tournament time, whatever it takes to get yourself as sharp as possible. Talk about the non-conference teams that pop up on your schedule and some teams that you're really excited to go test yourselves against.
Yeah, we get thrown into the fire right away. We have West Branch and Louisville right off the bat. So those are 2 great programs, 2 great teams that are really going to test us and see what we're all about. We play Boardman this year. We have Fitch, Mooney, Howland, Salem, and then Columbiana, Springfield, that rivalry game. And then our non-league kind of rounds out with Mohawk, PA.
And then, Coach, one of the things that we like to talk about is just expectations for this team. What are some of the things that you don't hope for, you don't want, but you expect out of the team? Some bare fundamentals out of South Range basketball that you expect from them this year.
Yeah, I just hope that we give it our all every night, and I think they kind of see that when you don't give it your all, what can happen. We're always going to preach, play hard and play fast. You're hearing those words a lot from a lot of coaches, I feel like. But what we want to do is ramp it up on the defensive end. And I think our kids are understanding that a little bit more in year 2, where, we come into practices, we're moving a little bit quicker between drills. We're going just a little bit harder in drills. Those kind of things. Our expectations are just, we're going to do what we need to do, and we're going to try and put them in the best position to win every game possible. And, just go on and give 110% effort.
I like that you said practices are molding more into what you envision. When you talk about the whole basketball program, whether you talk about what you're doing with the, junior high or how the culture is being run, now in year 2, do you start to see it take even more mold of what you want it to be?
No, sorry, my internet just went out for a quick second.
No, you're good. So when we talk about, establishing a culture, last year you were trying to do it. This year is kind of when you start to see it take mold. So how much have you seen your philosophy and your culture that you want out of this program really start to take hold this year in year 2?
Yeah, starting from the bottom up, we were able to run our summer camp, our youth camp in the summer, and we had great numbers for that. We did a great job with our intramural program last year and good numbers again in it this year. Getting some excitement into the basketball end. Basketball hasn't had the success that, football and baseball have had in this school. So we're trying to build that excitement here. And then in our junior high levels, we have, really competitive junior high classes right now, and fantastic help at our junior high level. They're starting to run a little bit of our offensive schemes out, things. So when those guys come up to us as freshmen, they're ready to roll.
All right, Coach, at the end of these, we love to give the time to shout out the coaching staff that you've put together from the bottom up, from junior high on all the way up to varsity. Talk about the people that you have in place that are helping you make this program what it is.
Our junior high program has some really great coaches. I'm very fortunate for that. We have Coach Titus and Coach Irons in junior high. Both have a ton of varsity experience. They have a ton of basketball knowledge, and they really help the kids. And helping them out is Zach Smith, who is a former player here at South Range. Up at the high school level, player at Springfield when I was coaching there, just finished up his playing career at Westminster. So he brings that college basketball aspect to it. He knows what the college practices look like, and just a ton of knowledge for a young guy. Adam Wary is with us again. He's another former player at Springfield. So we do have a lot of Springfield guys over here. We kind of got them to flip sides. But Adam does a great job with our freshmen, helping out in, JV and varsity. He puts in a ton of time with the guys too. He's here all summer, all spring. And then Mark Easy is another assistant coach. He was with us last year. Again, guy who's been a head coach before. He has a ton of basketball experience. He teaches in the school district, so he's kind of my eyes and ears in the building, and it's just instrumental.
You just make sure those Springfield kids don't sneak in some orange and black under the burgundy and gold. Don't throw off the mojo, right, Coach?
That's right. No orange over here.
Yeah. All right, Coach, we want to thank you for your time. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck this year. We'll be out there covering you all season, and we look forward to talking to you real soon.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
That was Pat Carden from South Range, the head coach of the boys program down there, getting ready for another season in the Thriller Dome at South Range, as we like to lovingly call it down there, because we have seen so many close and tight, thrilling games go down to the wire in that gym, especially with that program. You look at the last 2 years, the way that program has found ways to win close games down the stretch, unbelievable. I hope they keep doing it, because it was a treat to watch. They just kept winning close games again and again and again and again. I think they were like 11 for 11 at some point in one-score games down there at South Range. So if it's close, the Raiders are probably going to pull it out, and two, you got a good chance for a close game if you go to South Range for a boys basketball matchup. So Pat Carden in year 2. We're happy to have him here. We're happy that he was able to give us his time. And South Range basketball looking really bright on both sides, with Fish and Carden both leading those programs. That will do it for today's episode of Running Point. We want to thank you for tuning in today. Some house cleaning before we get out of here. Reminder that the pay-per-view package for tonight's playoff games is available. One payment of $9.99 will get you access to all of the games that will be on ysnlive.com tonight. So make sure to get out there, get those ones purchased a little bit early, so you have any technical issues, you can get them taken care of before kickoff. Also, a reminder that the Fitch versus Walsh game will be on ysnlive.com, but it will be audio only, so that one will be free. It'll be included in the pay-per-view package if you want it. When you buy that, you'll be able to see it, but if you want just that, you don't have to pay for it. You can just get it for free because it is audio only, due to the Spectrum Sports media rights that they have with the OHSA. They'll be at that game, so they have video rights, so we have to do audio-only broadcast for that game. Every other game that's on tonight, though, will be a video broadcast and will be on that pay-per-view package. So make sure to tune into that. It's regional semifinals. It's where the rubber meets the road. Next week we'll be one step away from the state playoffs. That will be fun. So come back on Monday. We'll recap it all. We'll talk about more basketball, and we'll have fun. So have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Monday on Running Point from 1 to 2, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.